Hello, I am going to show you a little bullet point on the items that you will need if you choose to do live mealworms in bulk. Now, a lot of people buy the mealworms in the little containers from the pet store, and on there in our area it says the Bug Company. But these worms, my invoice says the Bug Company as well. And we buy 10,000 at a time, which you will see later in the video what 10,000 looks like. But I wanted to do this part of the video, which is what they look like when they're nearly gone. Okay, so what you're going to need is, you're going to need one of these little foil containers with a snap-on lid. My husband Colin used a drill to make all the little air holes because I think that was less likely to crack. So if you try to do it with something else, you might end up cracking the plastic. So here I found, got some water under there, I found that this little tray is, I got it on Amazon and it was called Carlisle was the brand. It's the perfect size for my foil mealworms and leaves me room on the side for a little spoon, okay? So you're going to need some wheat germ. You're going to need a fresh carrot and a sharp knife. Now, here is how I do my mealworms. You can see that there's some carrot here that's dried, but we just had a delivery of new mealworms. So we're going to scoop all of these up today and feed them to our Baltimore Orioles and my little Rennie Wren who just decided to build a nest on our patio. Now, this little colander came with this cute little like drain tray. This is from a company called Zak, Z-A-K. I found some of these mini colanders, they call them, on Amazon again. I got a green one and a yellow one, but they didn't come with a tray, but you could use any kind of like plate or anything. But now, I have become the best worm wiggler that you could imagine. I've tried all kinds of techniques to get the wheat germ out because I don't like to put the wheat germ in the dish. I like it to just be the worms, leaving the wheat germ in here for the others. So, I know that this may sound crazy, but truly, come on in here and take a good look. I go a few side to side. I go a few the other way. So north, south, east, west, and then a swirl. The swirl is critical. So north, south, east, west, and a swirl. I know that sounds ridiculously OCD, but I'm telling you, I've been flipping and swirling mealworms now for several years, and this really is the best way. Now, once you get all your wheat germ out, over here, put it into your little container. Don't let this sit around too long with the worms in it because they will crawl out the bottom of these holes. And you don't want to like split a worm in half or anything before he becomes someone's lunch because that's just not nice. So keep in mind that the holes are perfect for the wheat germ. It's a hard struggle for the worm to get through, but they will try. Now, when you have your wheat germ in here, you have to discover a fine balance. You don't want to have too much wheat germ in the beginning because 2 deliveries ago, I kept shaking the wheat germ back into the container and not stirring, and it kind of created a crust, and then it kind of had a smell, and I think maybe there was too much wheat germ and I might have suffocated, and I felt bad. But then we used them all up and they were still good for the birds. So, but anyway, maybe halfway through, instead of putting your wheat germ back in, maybe take this to your garbage can and do your shaking over your garbage can so that you're not having There's got to be a technique, and I don't know what it is because I'm not a mealworm grower, but there has to be a proper balance between the amount of wheat germ bedding you want for the mealworms and too much, okay? And then always add fresh carrots throughout their time that's kept in your refrigerator. Now, we keep these in the garage refrigerator, don't we, Colin?
We do now that we're married.
When Colin met me, I was keeping them in the house refrigerator, and he was like, "What?" It was just easier for me. But now I realize that probably the garage refrigerator is really a better place for them. But when you go to feed your mealworms, something else you're going to want to have, I have these little cups with snap-on lids, but I had purchased a couple from the pet store just to get this little container with the air holes. Because what I do early evening probably, is I get 2 dishes ready. I get a dish ready for the Orioles out here, and then I put these in the refrigerator with their lid for just an hour or 2, because we have a feeding station right by our bedroom window, and I want to be able to open the window and put the little worms in their dish and not have to go out and shake worms, 3 times a day. So this comes in pretty handy. Now, when you go to feed your mealworms, I know it sounds crazy, but they call this a bluebird bell. Well, it's just a regular bell. But you can choose a specific time of day to do your feeding. And when you ring the bell, every time you take the worms out, they will start to respond and be waiting for you. Or they'll come flying like crazy. As a matter of fact, I usually give the little garden toad a few worms in his little glass dish that I made for him in his habitat with his toad house that he chose the location. I made the roof. And honest to God, I didn't even tell you this, but I was ringing the bell on the way to feed the Orioles, and that toad shot out from under his toad house like a lightning bolt and was standing in his dish. So, I mean, we've even got the toad onto the ring the bell. So I'm going to take a few of these over and give them to him. But that is just my little bits of tips for the easiest way to manage bulk mealworms, if you choose to do that, because it's so much more affordable. Split with a friend so you can split the shipping, because it's overnight shipping. So, bye.